Welcome back to Spill the Tea. We're already on our 4th episode, and today we're joined by the director of the town's Public Works Department, David Myers. David is a longtime employee of the town, having served for 20 years now. Before taking the top spot at Public Works, he was operator of the wastewater treatment plant after working in most other areas of the department. David is a native of Edenton and a graduate of John A. Holmes High School. What's up, David? How you doing?
Well, thank you, Tyler. I appreciate you having me here today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for coming on. I've been real excited to get to Public Works because I know y'all are the biggest department we have. There's a lot to talk about. There's a lot of things that y'all do on a daily basis for this town that folks may not be aware of, and those are some of the things that I kind of wanted to get down and talk about. But first, I wanted to start and ask you, for the public that may not be aware, just how big is your department?
So with our department, we have 40 employees. There's a couple part-time employees, but I have 7 supervisors that work underneath me. I have water and sewer, which is a lot of my background. I have street department, stormwater, sanitation, which handles recycling, yard debris pickup, special collections.
Right.
Then we have the garage department. What some folks don't know, we do fire department, police department, airport. We also do mosquito spraying. A lot of folks don't know who handles the mosquito spraying in town, and our fleet maintenance supervisor handles all that. Landscape department, water treatment facility, and a wastewater treatment facility plant. So we're a big department here in the town.
It's broad, and I know that y'all have your good days and your bad days, but you're called on usually to respond to most things. If it breaks, y'all get called.
If it breaks, we're there.
Yeah, whether it's 2 a.m. or 2 p.m. And some people may not know that if we got a water main that ruptures, or if we got a leak somewhere in town, and they calling in, our guys have to, they got to get out of bed, they got to come to town, and they got to take care of it. They're out there working to make sure the residents always have that service. And some people may not know that.
Yeah, we've had the phone ring at 2 a.m. And we'll work 24 hours straight until we get the problem fixed. So a lot of times I tell these guys they are my work family. I see them sometimes more than my own family.
Yep, that's how it is. And even I know you mentioned the shop. Mike works on all of our vehicle breakdowns. If the trolley breaks down, Mike works on it. If we have a fire engine come down, a squad car come down, if any of our town vehicles or equipment breaks, he's the fixer. And so Public Works really kind of encompasses everything that the general day-to-day operations. Without Public Works, we'd be in deep trouble. So I want to talk about Granville Street. That's something that I know that we started working on back in January. A lot of people were kind of, upset the street was closed for a couple of months. Roads were bumpy. Kind of explain what we were doing over there and why that was so important to do.
So we found out sort of last minute. DOT had awarded the Granville Street project to Barnhill, which kind of pushed town manager and myself in quite a predicament to try to go ahead and get all our utility repairs made in a timely fashion. On that stretch of roadway, there's about 34 houses, and we knew there was some sewer line that needed to be corrected. So we got together, come up with a game plan. We went in, and out of the 34 houses, we replaced every clean-out service line from the right-of-way on the customer's property to the town sewer main. We cameraed the sewer system, made sure all repairs were completed. Because in the past, when a street gets paved, one of my pet peeves, and I kind of picked it up from the town manager, is cutting brand new asphalt.
Yeah.
That is a no-no. So we're trying to make all the repairs necessary. So when Barnhill does come in here, 2 weeks from now, you won't see Public Works cutting freshly put down asphalt. So we got all the sewer services replaced. We're also looked at the galvanized water lines. When you got paving, you got vibrators and compactors coming in here. So we went on and replaced the old, outdated water lines, the best we could.
Sure.
Not saying there won't be a failure, but we've done everything we can to prevent us from making any utility repairs on a freshly paved road, because we know it'll be years from now before Barnhill comes back in here, or DOT, and paves that road again.
Yeah.
So.
And I know you met with DOT today about Granville Street and Broad Street, and what were the updates that they had given you on when we're going to see those 2 streets finally repaved? Yep.
So this morning I met with Matt. He's one of the engineers of DOT. Barnhill, they are just behind, just a hair. They've pushed off starting another month. So we're looking mid to the end of May to do Granville. They have already completed some of the project. They did a lot of the side street neighborhoods off of West Queen. Once they get the green light, they're going to come in Granville. That we're thinking middle of May, but only time will tell.
Right.
Far as Fred Smith Company doing Broad Street, they will come in after Barnhill has completed. We don't want to close down Broad and Granville at the same time. It would just be complete chaos.
That's right. And I know that for projects like this, there could be a multitude of reasons why things could get pushed back. It could be the weather, it could be staffing, it could be all different types of things. And some folks may not know that when DOT assigns contracts to these contractors, it may include various maps that are not necessarily the streets that we're talking about. So whereas Granville Street is a map on this project, there are other maps like out at Countryside, up in the county that they also have to pave as part of this contract before, they'll come to Granville Street. So I think that's something that people may not always be aware of is, why can't they come to Granville Street now? Well, they're out doing other projects right now. They'll be here, as soon as they can. Just quickly staying on the same topic of street paving, which, as you've said before, is a hot topic. People love to ask about streets being paved. When is my street going to get paved? This street's bumpy. This street's got holes. We did a lot of work in that department last year. I think it was over 20 streets that we had paved. We spent a lot of money working with our paving contractor out of Suffolk. Tell folks a little bit about that and where we were able to see some success with paving.
Yeah, myself, Corey, and Miss Virginia, the finance, she's, I guess, the pocketbook for the town. We all met, come up with a game plan to set aside $1 million to do the paving. We reached out to several vendors. So we met this contractor, told him what we wanted. We ended up doing 20 to 25 streets. The plan is with the new 2024 budget, of course, there probably won't be $1 million set aside, but, I'm hoping the town manager sets aside $300,000 to $500,000. So maybe we can do 10 roads this year instead of 20. So if you're listening to this and you're wondering when your street is coming, hopefully sooner than later. So.
And I know that we've been working on, I know we already had sort of like an inventory of our street conditions, and I know Corey's talked about updating that and seeing where we are, what streets are in most need of paving, and sort of rank that on a scale, say which ones need it the most, which ones are all right for now. And then, of course, there are streets that we don't pave, like Granville Street, like Broad Street. Those are, Virginia Road, those are DOT streets. They're responsible for that. We don't pave those streets. But I remember specifically when we first started the project last year, and I was riding down Oakham, and I looked over onto Walker. I know we had a lot of comments about Walker. It was bumpy. There were some holes, and we were ready to get it patched up. And when I saw the asphalt being laid down there, I was happy, and I know folks that were living over there were happy as well. But the projects like this, they can be expensive.
They are. They're very expensive. You figured we just paid the small portion from the railroad track on Blade to Coke Avenue. That's a small stretch, 7 to 10 houses. Just that small stretch was $15,000. So imagine, a big road. Imagine how much that will cost.
Has inflation impacted these
Oh,
projects?
yes. Ever since COVID, everything has just shot through the roof.
Yeah.
As far as inventory, even as far as getting the workplace, getting people to fulfill the job openings that we have.
Yeah.
Ever since COVID, things have kind of took a big change.
Yeah, it's just like a different, completely different market now.
It is.
And things are different. But I know we talked a lot about paving. What are some of the other things y'all are working on right now in terms of projects? I know we just put something up on Facebook yesterday, day before, about the wastewater treatment plant. Kind of tell people a little bit more about what we're doing over there.
So with us, we have a lot of irons in the fire right now. The wastewater treatment plant is ongoing. That is an $11 million project. I believe it's $5.9 million in loan, $5.1 million in 100% grant-funded USDA grant. We are completely renovating the whole entire wastewater treatment plant. New piping, new aerators, new valves. Everything's going to be brought up to speed. That plant is just as old as I am. It was built in 1986, so it'll be 38 years old this year. As far as other projects, we have a lot of grants that are open right now. We have an AIA project for asset inventory and assessment on our water and sewer system. We have coming up a sewer rehab on Mars Circle and the neighborhood behind Dairy Queen, Johnson, Cabarrus, Bond, all those neighborhoods. I would say in the next year, We'll have all new sewer system, new manholes, new sewer lines. So that's a big project coming up. One of the councilmen, one of his big top things on his agenda is sidewalks. We just completed a sidewalk assessment on trip hazards in town, neighborhoods and zones that don't have a sidewalk. So I'm presenting them to Corey. We'll see how that goes, whether town council wants to move forward on adding new sidewalk or what the next step would be. Next month, we have a grant that's going to be awarded, fingers crossed, hopefully it's us, for the wetland area right beside our shop on Granville.
Right.
To me, it's kind of an eyesore. I get it, but it needs a lot of upkeep and been neglected for several years. So hopefully we'll get that grant and we'll be able to tidy that place up and get that back to where it was when it was built. Yeah, we got a pile of projects, man.
I know you mentioned Moore Circle, the sewer work that we're going to do up there. I know some people have asked about paving in that area, but now that you mentioned the sewer work, I figured that if we're not cutting new asphalt, we want to do work like this first, the sewer work, get all that done before we consider, laying new asphalt on streets like that.
Yeah, that's correct. I'm thinking middle of year 25, the sewer should be started or get near to completion. Once the sewer is completely redone, we will then go in and we'll pave the whole neighborhood. We're not going to do any paving until the sewer's completed and finished.
And that makes perfect sense because you lay down asphalt, which is expensive these days, and it's brand new, and then the first thing you do is you go and cut it up. Well, then you got to patch it over. People are going to be upset. So it only makes sense that you just wait until all the repairs are done for now, then lay your asphalt. It's just a matter of upkeep. You had mentioned all of these projects with water and sewer. These water meters. I know it was a year or two ago we started installing new water meters all through town, and that was something that was new. Tell people what the importance of that is and kind of what that helps us accomplish.
So that project, it took about a year and a half to complete. Very proud of my guys. Town manager Corey kind of started that whole project. A lot of towns our size, they sub that project out. They spend $2 million on contracting it out. We're proud to say our team here installed over 2,000 meters in a year and a half. And those meters are very nice. They help us on a daily leak report. That way we're able to notify customers, hey, you have a leaking toilet. No one wants to get a $100 to $200 water bill. So every day we check that report. We're monitoring water usage. We're helping better track where the water goes. And I'm also sure that there is a little bit of financial gain from a new meter.
And I think that's been a big boost for what we've had.
And it's real time. There's a lot of historic houses here in town with a lot of old piping. So luckily, every morning at 7 a.m. we check that leak report and we're able to give the customer a call first thing in the morning to let them notify if we need to come out and turn your water off, or if you need to get a plumber out ASAP. No one wants to get that high water bill and be shocked at the end of the month.
No, they don't. What are some of the, I don't know, this could be a fun question. What are some of the misconceptions that the public may have about jobs like this, about public works, about the things that y'all do on a day-to-day basis? What are some of the things that people may assume or think about the job like that or may not understand that may be incorrect?
So a lot of times I get phone calls of, hey, what are you guys doing? Are y'all just riding around? That's not the case. We do ride. We go from job site to job site.
Right.
This town here is a historic town. It's the South's prettiest little town, 5,000 residents. We do everything from water and sewer pickup, trash pickup, streets and stormwater repairs. I had to call the other day, it's just something minor that makes us stand out. And I'm sure other towns do it, but it made us stand out. Had a lady call. She moved out of state. Her mom was here, lived in the Westover area. She was having mobility issues. Still needed her trash picked up daily. So I told her, I said, look, I tell you what, have your mom stick your trash at the front door. We'll send our guys to the front door. We'll grab it, we'll dump it, and we'll dump your can and put it back on the front doorstep for you.
Yeah.
I don't know if a lot of towns go that extra mile, but I feel like we do. We're all about our customers, all about bettering the town, bettering our employees, sending them to training, all the time, just trying to make this whole community a better community.
That's right. All about customer service. And we had just won today. We posted on Facebook that we won an award for, training our employees and educating our employees. Shout out to Tammy Woodley for really coordinating all of that over these years to making sure that our employees stay trained and up to date with things like that. And you mentioned that we're a small town. We're also a town at sea level. So we see a lot of flooding problems, and every time I get a call about flooding, I try to reassure the folks and say, hey, our guys try to make sure that those storm drains are clean when we know the storms are coming. We try to clean everything out the best we can. But unfortunately, we are limited by the constraints of our geography. We are surrounded by creeks, old riverbeds, the bay. We are at sea level. We got these wetlands, these marshes all around. So, it just naturally, this town floods. And that it may not be the greatest thing to deal with when it happens, but we try our best to deal with it when it does, and to clean up and make sure everything is taken care of. And we're always looking for grant money to make sure that we can keep that, the stormwater system updated, can build it up as best as we can. I know Dwayne's been working on that for several months now. It's been a flooding project with the state to make sure that we can get some money to try to shore up some of those defenses to try to limit some of that flooding.
Yeah, that's one of the thorns in my side is stormwater. Like I was saying earlier, we're working on that grant to get the wetlands cleaned up, so that'll hold more capacity. But when you get 4 inches of rain in an hour period, it's going to take time for it to go away. And I hate it for the low lying areas because they're going to be the ones to suffer. But I can assure them, my guys are out there before the storm, during the storm, and after the storm, cleaning drains. Making sure we get this water out of here as fast as possible. I can think of one instance we had a while back. The stormwater pump went down. I was here myself standing in knee-deep water at 2 a.m. getting that pump going, me and my guys. I wouldn't want water in my house, so we're doing everything we can in our power to get this water out of here as fast as we can.
And I remember that. I remember at least, it was back in December, it was like back-to-back rainstorms. And I remember one night, it was about 11, 12 o'clock, after it had sort of had gone away, and I went out to take some photos to let people know, what streets were flooded. First thing I saw were those flashing yellow lights of one of our public works trucks coming down the street, and they stopped at one of the drains, and they were taking care of it. It was the middle of the night, but they were out there doing it. Even when people are asleep and may not know that they're out there, they are out there. But I wanted to kind of wrap up by asking about the recycling program. I know we just brought that back after a few years of it being gone. And I wanted to sort of have you update the public on, I guess, how much we've recycled, where we're at, and, how we're doing with that right now.
So, we bought it back December the 6th, I believe was the date. Mm-hmm. So far, we've made 4 trips to Virginia. I believe that the number was right at 30 tons or just over 30 tons is what we've recycled.
I think that's right, yeah.
Some residents are having a hard time with us doing it every other week.
Right.
We've had some businesses reach out to us requesting a recycle dumpster. We've done everything in our power to provide that. If the customers here seems they want to participate a little more, we will, look into doing it every week. But I believe so far, just in the 4 months, 5 months that we've been going, we've done good. You figure 30 tons is a lot of trash to not put into the landfill. Mm-hmm. Definitely got to help the environment.
Mm-hmm. And it takes some of the load off of the existing trash bins. When people were putting double the amount in the trash bins and they were overflowing or they were having to use more than one, it takes some of that extra out of the trash bins. So hopefully makes the regular Monday, Friday pickups a little easier. But if any resident is interested in signing up for a bin or getting involved, learning more about the recycling program, just visit townofedenton.com/recycling. Everything should be there, and we should have the schedule both there and pinned to the top of our Facebook page. David, what are some of the challenges that come with leading public works? What are some of the things that you've run into the last couple of years that have just been a challenge for you?
A couple of the challenges, I would say, since I've been director. I took over, it's probably going on 3 years now. I think Corey was town manager in 21, so it's going on 3 years. But ever since the COVID pandemic, trying to find personnel to fill my vacant spots at the shop. Yep. Customers call or something breaks. We still have to go out there and resolve the issue, whether I'm fully staffed or whether I'm half staffed. So that's been one of my biggest hurdles. Also, being young, I have some veteran employees that are a little bit older than me, trying to be their supervisor. It's a little tough sometimes when you got a 50-year-old. He don't want to take orders from a 38-year-old.
Yeah.
So, but overall, it's been great. I've had some great leaders. Corey has taught me a lot. I wouldn't be where I am without Corey or without the previous supervisors I've had. I've lucky enough in my career with the town that I've had some really, really good supervisors to look up to and teach me and train me. But every day is a different obstacle, a different hurdle. But I got a great team, and we'll just take it day by day.
And we always appreciate the work Public Works does, the work you do, your guys do, guys and girls. Y'all are fantastic. Absolutely. I need more of that recognition. That's why you're here. We wanted to thank you for it. Thanks for coming on. Keep up the good work.
Well, thank you, Tyler.
And this is Spill the Tea episode 4. I'm your host, Tyler Newman, signing off.